Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me, and welcome to a new day, brand new day, full of all kinds of potential and opportunity. Hope that you've got something really wonderful planned for yourself today. I am doing some travel planning today. This is my day for mapping out my plans for the year for travel, and I'm having a nice cup of tea to help me get started. It's hibiscus and mint. It's a really interesting combination. Hibiscus is like a floral taste, but then mint is, of course, minty. So it's a really interesting combination. And in fact, these yogi teas, I get a little collection of them now and again, and they've got the most interesting combinations. So, you can mix and match herbal teas to your taste. And I just love experimenting with different tea. And that's, I think, part of the reason I love to travel. I just love the experience of going to a new place for the first time, and trying new foods, new teas, and meeting new people. It's just such a great opportunity for me. Now, I know a lot of you don't like to travel far, maybe just domestic travel, but that's a great opportunity too. So I wanted to chat a bit about travel today because it's on my mind, and I'm sure a lot of you have your bucket list locations that you want to go to this year or over the next 5 years. I kind of like to plan ahead. I think half the planning is half the fun, and looking up different opportunities, different companies that work with travel groups, and just the way people look at different destinations. If you go to a place with one group or on your own, you may be focused on, culture or art, whereas another might be focused on history or textiles or any number of variations on a theme. So you can go to the same place, several times and get it from a different lens. But anyway, I spoke with a travel expert, Nancy Perraud. She works for About.com, and we've done lots of interviews with Nancy. She's really knowledgeable about travel, and I love chatting with her. She's just got a wonderful heart and spirit for travel. And by the way, we have got so many videos up on YouTube, I think over 700 now. So if you haven't gone up to 60 and Me, YouTube/60 and Me, you can find all kinds of videos out there about many, many topics. Travel's a big one. So anyway, I chatted with Nancy about how to get more from your trips when you're traveling, either solo or with a group. And she's a big fan of solo travel and is very encouraging of women to not let the fact that you don't have anyone to travel with stop you. So she says that, there's a lot of agencies and groups now online that specialize in solo travel. So you don't have to ever feel like you have to do it alone. If you want to go by yourself, that's an option. But there are a lot of beautiful tour groups for women only, or mixed groups, that really do focus on group travel that kind of gives you the both worlds. You can go by yourself. You can start off in your town and get on the plane or train and get to the place where you're going. And then you meet up with other like-minded people, other solo travelers, but you're traveling as a group. So it's kind of a nice combination of having that sense of independence, like you've made the decision, you're going on your own, but then you also have a group of other women to support you. And usually if it's a themed tour of any kind, you've got people that are like you. They're like-minded. Now, 2 years ago, I went on a tour to India, to Gujarat, with a group called Eat Your Heart Out Tours, EYHO Tours. It's run by Sheila Desai. And Sheila is wonderful. She does tours in India and in Myanmar and I think Sri Lanka. But her tours are maybe 12 to 18 women, and around themes. Most specifically, in that case, it was textiles. So I went to India, which a place I love, and stayed within Gujarat. Traveled with Sheila and the rest of the women, and we had an amazing time. I was able to get off on my own a bit because I knew and felt comfortable in India. But most of the time we were on a bus or traveling together, getting to the most remote little villages where we could watch people reviving and sustaining the art of textile making in India. It was really, really cool. But the thing that was wonderful was I chose to have a roommate, because on these tours it's a little more expensive if you want to stay alone. That's just the cost of the room, not the tour. But anyway, I had a wonderful roommate, Kathleen, and we got on so well. We had a great time, and it was, I think, 14 days of fun. We became best of friends, and in the time since then, we've carried on chatting on Facebook and remained in touch. And in fact, I'm going to do another tour this year with the same group, different place, and with Kathleen as my roommate. So that's one of the good things about about traveling solo in a group. Now, if you do want to travel solo, Nancy, of course, suggests that you do your homework, get your insurance, medical coverage, make sure that you're not at the last minute on your own and panicking about something. And I wanted to mention another group that I'm a big fan of called Journey Woman. Now, journeywoman.com is, in my opinion, one of the best travel sites for women, women of old ages. Now, Evelyn Hannon started Journey Woman about 20 years ago. She's now in her 70s, and she is still traveling the world like a rock star. I mean, she's amazing, and she has a great website and Facebook group as well. But anyway, Evelyn wrote an article recently, and it was very interesting. It basically said, why do female bloggers not tell the truth about solo travel? And what she meant there was simply that there's a side to solo travel that's tough. You have to be ready to be prepared and deal with the things like, emergencies, or the sense of loneliness, or fear, or dealing with security. These are all things that you have to think about when you're traveling solo. Anyway, I would recommend you check out her site for that article. It's a really, really good one, and I think it gives a balanced view about solo travel. Now, another thing Nancy and I talked about was if you're on a budget, giving public transport a try. Now, if you don't want to travel internationally and you want to just go and see something a little new in your neighborhood, try public transport. And well, in fact, even getting to the next town or so, because there's some really amazing infrastructure in places, plans in place where you can see a lot of the local area by public transport. I mean, I often jump on a bus and just go to the next little town, grab a coffee or tea, turn around and come back. And it's really, even though it's not far, it's far in your mind. Sometimes you can just take yourself away to a new place. And public transport, of course, is very inexpensive. And when you're traveling abroad, even in another country, don't be afraid of public transport. I have stood at bus stops trying to understand a different language and no idea where to get a ticket. And I've just asked people around me, and you would be surprised how the normal average people just like you are willing to help. So I think that's a really, really cool piece of advice, to not be afraid of public transport, even in a new city. Another thing she talks about is being willing to follow your heart and embrace new experiences. When you go to a new town or city or country, you have a list. I want to check this museum, I want to do this theater, I want to do this event. But sometimes I think it's nice to suspend the planning and just follow your heart. Go the way that you think is going to lead you somewhere. If you get lost, look, you can always grab a taxi and go back to home base. But you're just letting yourself relax. And also, she mentions adventure tours as a way to embrace new things. There's a lot of very amazing tours these days, both cruise expeditions and also land visits to countries that are just opening up, or are places that you never thought you might want to go. And the world is very affected these days by various political upheavals. So some places get a little bit shut off to the world, and then they open. Like Cuba is a good example of that, and Myanmar, Burma. Those are places that have not been open. Iran is another place, very big popular place for tours now. Hasn't been for years. So anyway, be bold and be creative, and as Nancy says, be careful. And those three things are your really good advice. And a final thing that Nancy talks about is working with a travel agent. Now, this is something that I never have done. I've always been online, independent, but she says, honestly, give them a try. If you are going to a place that you don't know, you don't have to do it all on your own. And travel agencies don't charge you for their services. A lot of times you look in the window and you see them all lined up there and they're in their computers and you think, oh, I don't want to go in there. I'll just bother them with my silly questions. They love it, and they of course get paid a commission from the company that you end up signing with, but they do know the back roads, literally and figuratively. They know the way to get cheaper fares, how to get to the places that you as a solo traveler might not be able to get to. So anyway, she says that it's really good to actually give travel agents a try. Don't just dismiss them out of hand. They can offer you a lot of great advice. So anyway, I did actually work with a travel agent last year, 2016. I went down to Cinque Terre, which is the little villages or towns in Italy. And I wanted to go very simply down there, 4 days. I went by train. I didn't want to think about anything, and they planned it all for me, and it was really fun. A reasonable price, very reasonable. So that was working with a travel agent for me. And then, I think that just to close, I would say that, travel may not be for everyone. You may not want to travel this year, but perhaps you just like to virtually travel, which is fun too. You can go to Google and they've got some great maps now of the world and wonderful stories. But planning for a trip is honestly, for me, half the fun. I just love researching, going and looking at all the different hotels, the different activities that you can do, and joining travel forums, where you can chat with other people who are interested in the same place. And even when you go to places like booking.com or Priceline, they have forums there that review the hotels. You can just have a chat with people. And travelers are chatty people. They just like to meet others and, explore, and they have a curious nature. So I think it's always, the planning of a trip is a lot of fun. I'm actually already thinking about next year and some river cruises that I want to do after speaking with our travel river cruise expert this week. But, it's just a matter of having a state of mind about discovering new things. And also, by the way, Nancy reminds us to go to Pinterest.com, because Pinterest is a great place for pictures if you're visual, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope I've inspired you a little bit about travel. If you don't like to travel, then maybe you're just sort of virtually coming along with us, but I hope it's been fun. Please leave your comments in the section below. Tell us where you've been that you've loved, and share some travel stories. And I would just like to ask you, do you have a passion for travel? How has it had the biggest impact on your life? Do you have a passion for travel, and how has travel impacted your life? Look forward to the conversation. I will jump in myself. This is one of my topics that I love, and I look forward to your comments and your feedback. So anyway, have a wonderful day today, wherever you go, or whether you stay home. Either way, just enjoy your day, and we'll see you all back here again soon. Take very good care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.